Yes, welcome back to Hot Topics. I'm Jeff Adjamai with Home Life Miracle and House of Trade, bringing you the most talked about real estate news stories of the week. I've got one story for you today, but first, go on the houseoftrade.ca website, check out the Mobile Age of Real Estate blog on our website. We've released the first 6 parts. And the first parts that we've put out basically are all on real estate and technology happening in North America. The last 2 parts we put out are on transparent negotiations and showings on demand, being able to see properties when you want, how you want, where you want. So check that out. You'll definitely enjoy it. The Mobile Age of Real Estate blog on the houseoftrade.ca website. Let's jump into the stories. And the first story of the day is brought to us by the Real Estate Magazine, and it's basically on the Toronto Real Estate Board's concern over a proposed land transfer tax increase. They basically want to increase land transfer tax for any properties that are $1 million plus, so that they can bring in more income. Apparently, when City Council just finished their budget for this year, they showed that they had a $100 million drop in land transfer tax revenue from the previous year, and that's likely due to things like the mortgage stress test causing sales to drop within the city. If a reasonable person would understand that less sales means you're getting less money from land transfer tax. So that shows the challenges that the mortgage stress test is offering, even when it comes to the government being able to bring in money. So not just with regards to affordability for people that want to become homeowners or even potential homeowners trying to buy property and different properties in their names, but also for the city trying to bring in money to help fund some of their programs. So a lot of the times when they use the land transfer tax, they're using it to fund different subsidy programs. So like the city's housing allowance program, which helps different co-ops, nonprofits subsidize housing for some of our more vulnerable people that need housing but obviously can't afford market rent. So that's what it's usually used for, to help fund some of the subsidy programs. But like I said, it's not a very stable way of bringing in income, because if sales drop, you're gonna have less income. If sales increase, you're gonna have more. So obviously you'd want an incentive to try and increase sales, which would bring you more income from the land transfer tax. A better proposal might be to offer an increase in property taxes. Obviously that's not very popular, but it's a more stable source of income for the city to bring in money to help fund the program. Because obviously that's just based on people that are already owning property within the city. Now it's just being increased a little more in terms of the payments. So Toronto Real Estate Board President Gary Baruha, he says that unfortunately it appears that and when he refers to that, he means the stress test, was not enough to scare them straight, because this new proposal is calling for the city to rely on this unpredictable revenue stream even more. When will this end? And that's a good question. When will it end? We have TREB that's lobbying against the mortgage stress test, because they want people to actually be able to afford property and get into the housing market. And with things like the stress test, adding 2% to your mortgage qualification rate, it makes it so difficult to buy property and get into the market. It was already difficult before with housing prices at the levels that they were. You've added a new barrier to the housing market with the stress test. And when you're making land transfer tax higher for people that have maybe higher income, that are buying more expensive properties, all that's going to do is make them not want to move to Toronto, move to different markets, and that reduces your land transfer tax revenue even more. So I hope the city reconsiders some of these proposals and actually thinks about what the end results will be. I know they have good intentions, I get it, but we got to think ideas fully through. I mean, come on, let's be serious. Like, land transfer tax is very, very unstable when it comes to funding any type of projects that you want to do. So propose things like an increase in property tax, maybe make mortgage terms 30 years instead of 25 years, so that at least the mortgage payments can be stretched out a little more. A lot of different opportunities and ways to make housing more affordable for people and still be able to bring in the revenue you need to actually be able to fund some programs that we want to do, like housing subsidy programs and things like that. So this is a very quick episode. Just wanted to throw this at you guys, see what you think. Comment down below. It's always a discussion. What do you think about the city increasing land transfer tax for more expensive properties? What do you think about maybe a proposal to increase property taxes as an alternative, or even just increase mortgage terms to 30 years as opposed to 25 years? Comment down below. It's always a discussion. Thank you for joining us. We're going to see you next week. Peace.